Okay, so first thing that we got here is this is going to be one of the little diesel, or it's supposed to be a container to hold diesel fuel, and it is advertised as being like 6 or 7 liters. I'll show you the advertisement, and it is not 6 or 7 liters. I mean, this is maybe 1 liter, but it is metal, which I like a little bit better than the plastic, and it does have this kind of like little port here so you can attach your little hose that goes onto the diesel heater and run it out that way. So I don't know if I'm going to return this or not. This may or may not be good for water, but it's definitely advertised for the diesel heater. So it does come with this like cap right here. I mean, I got this, I paid I think $15 or so for it. I got it because it was metal. I thought that would be better to hold the diesel fuel, but so far not that good. And as you can tell, I mean, it's kind of small, so I think that might be going back. I'm not really sure about that, yes or no. And then I got this mini water dispenser, and there's a lot of these on Amazon. All this stuff came from Amazon. This is actually pretty cool. Came with a couple cups. So forget the cups, that doesn't really matter. But here's the water dispenser. I thought this was kind of neat. And I got the one, so it goes like this, and then you can flip up the handle. So you can either put this directly on a like a 5-gallon or whatever fresh water, or you can put it kind of like that, and then that'll go, and you can kind of like wash your hands with it or what have you. And then also you could actually like put a cup underneath it as well. So I liked having this little extra base here. This one came with it. Some of the other ones you see like on Amazon or what have you, they don't come with this little base. I wanted this little pedestal, and this it's just battery operated, and it recharges with this little USB charger right here. So you just press whichever one you want, and it goes. So there you go. And then I think you can also program it maybe to do 200 milliliters, 600 milliliters, 800 milliliters, whatever. So you could just do one button operation, or you could do quantitative pumping. Anyway, so this is going to be in the sink. I like the silver on it, and I also like the white. And then it's also rechargeable. I think I paid like less than $20 for this, so well worth it, I think. And what you do is it does come, and it should come with a hose. Oh, here's the hose. So it comes with a hose, and you just attach the hose here, and then the bottom of the hose goes in your reservoir. So it just goes right into the right into whatever area you're trying to get draw water from. So that was pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. I'm happy with that. It seems to work okay. And another guy with a different channel, he uses kind of a similar setup, not necessarily this brand or whatever. I'll leave a link to his channel. His name's Dave. He's done a lot of these things. Okay, so solar charge controller. This is the one I got, and I paid a little bit extra for this one. There are some really, really cheap ones out there, but this is up to 30 amps. I'm definitely not going to be using more than 30 amps, but I will be using a 5,000 BTU air conditioner. So, I wanted to have it come in with 2 solar panels, and then be able to have enough oomph to withstand any kind of like draw in terms of at least powering that 5,000 BTU air conditioner. So, and then this is also the MPPT solar, which is good because it regulates the flow, the proper flow coming through there. And then you can also have this one's pretty nice. It shows you or gives you a little bit of USB connectivity right there, which is good. And then this one also has a little bit better interaction, a little screen that it tells you more information. So for a couple more dollars, I liked this one better because I thought that the display was better, and I believe that this one also has connectivity to your cell phone. So I think. So I'll check that out. And that was around $25-30, something like that. I think that'll be suitable for what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I got a inline water flow filter, and what this does is this is actually one that operates on gravity. So I'm trying to do this system where I have a ice chest, and then the water that drains from the ice chest is going to go down through gravity through this filter into a reservoir, and that's going to be my water source. So I'm not going to have to bring in extra water necessarily just to have water. It's going to be the melted ice that gets filtered a little bit through this inline water filter just by gravity, and then I'll have a water source where I can like wash my hands or what have you, and I can actually use that to fill up drinking water. Maybe I'll get a Brita just to make sure it's like really clean. But hopefully the only thing I'll really ever have to do is buy ice for the ice chest, and then as it melts I can use that water. If it turns out that it's not melting fast enough or what have you, you can always go out and buy a little extra water or get a little extra water from whatever source you want, a garden hose from a friend, or go buy a gallon. That's cheap. Water is so cheap to buy when you're on the road. You can get a couple gallons and just it's drinkable. So, but anyway, this is for the water flow from the ice chest. That I'm just going to use ice. I'm not using a power source for it. No Dometic or whatever for me. And then it's going to flow just by gravity through a hose into a water reservoir, and from there, that's where this thing will pump out your supply. So that's the theory there, is that it's like, using gravity, no power, low tech. But I wanted to filter some of that out just in case after a while, if in the ice chest you get, a little mold or a little bacteria or whatever. And this says that it will do that. It's mostly activated carbon. And so it's not really meant to take out like crazy impurities in the water, like chemicals and stuff like that. That's not what this is designed for. This is designed to make sure that the ice that's melting is clean enough to wash your hands with and maybe drink. Okay, that's it. Just taking out like bacteria and stuff like that. Okay, mold. That's it. So I think that we're fine, because I eat ice all the time. I like eating. I don't know, I'm one of those crazy guys that chew on ice. Okay, I also got a little adapter for the back of the truck, and this was like $1.99. So this plugs into the back of the pickup truck, and I'm gonna wire the trailer camper exterior lights, brake light, running lights, stuff like that, from here. So rather than kind of like, I don't know, splice in and try to do it wonky, this was only $1.99 or whatever, and this will be perfect, and I'll just wire it in there. We'll do that later on an episode, I'm sure. Okay, so got another thing here. This is, I thought this was a pretty good deal. So this is made by G&L. I have no idea really who they are, but it came off of Amazon. And so this is the power inverter and solar charge controller. Okay, so this power inverter is going to take that energy from the batteries, right? Comes from the solar panel to the charge controller to the batteries, and then to the inverter, so we can actually use it. It'll turn it into, a regulated 12 volt or even 110 or 120. So it comes with, oh, cool. So it comes with a little breaker, it seems, power fault. You can do that. We'll have to figure out how to wire that up. And then it actually comes with some connectors from the battery to the unit itself, and those are pretty nice. I mean, that's like 4 gauge, maybe. I think that's more than 6 gauge. I think that's like 4 gauge, maybe 6. I don't know, but it's kind of nice and flexible too. And look at those connectors on there. So that'll be nice. We'll use those to connect the inverter to the batteries, and this is what you do on that side, is you connect the red and black over to your batteries, and that supplies battery juice in this side, kind of from the solar side of it, and then it spits the juice out on this side to whatever form you need it. So this would be like the 110 or 115, 120, whatever you call it. I always called it 110. And then there's a couple of other settings over here, including a remote control on-off switch, and I believe this is also Bluetooth compatible. So and this is, I believe, a sine wave one. I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was. This was only like 84 bucks, and I thought that was pretty good. And it's 1200 watt, which I thought was really good, and also 20 amp. Because again, I'm going to be running that 5000 BTU air conditioner off of here, which is going to draw about 400 to 500 watts at start to finish and middle range, that kind of stuff. So it'll have like little surges, and this at 1200 watts rated power should be able to control and operate the 5000 BTU air conditioner, window air conditioner, that we're going to put in the camper. So if it's not, then I'll have to upgrade it to something else, but I'm pretty darn sure. And this feels nice and heavy. I always like it when electronics feel nice and heavy and secure, and that gives me a little bit more confidence that what's inside isn't, they didn't like slack on it. So I thought this was a really good deal at like around $84, I believe. It was under 90, whereas some of the other ones are going for like 150 or something. So I don't know exactly why. Maybe it was new models coming out next year or whatever, but it's definitely not like broken or anything, so that's fine. And I was happy with the value, and it seems to be of good quality. So we'll do a video on this later, installing it and everything. But I got those little goodies, and there's more. Let me just put this back in real quick. So, and again, I like to get this stuff ahead of time. I did go ahead and get another window for above the sink, so I'll be able to measure that. And then I got some batteries coming. I got two 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries. That should be pretty good. And I only paid around $150 a piece for those, which I thought was a good deal. So, okay. So I don't know. So this says 10 liters. So let's compare that to the other one. I mean, if that's 10 liters, maybe this is 6 liters. I guess maybe I'm still thinking gallons. This says 10 liters. This says, I think this is advertised at 6 to 8. So then maybe this is, I don't know. But anyhow, this comes with the diesel heater, and 10 liters has like a little hole right there. And this is kind of like a similar type of setup. You put the diesel in there, and then you run a hose from here through a little teeny tiny pump, and that pump pumps the diesel to the heater itself. This one happens to be Vevor or Vevor or whatever, and this got good reviews. You guys, if you don't have one of these, Milwaukee Fastback, they got a couple different models. This one happens to have a little attachment for screwdrivers and a couple other things. You don't have to get it with that. They have a lower model that has not so many other attachments and stuff. But like, check this out. I mean, I keep on hitting it there. Check that out. So if you're one-handed, you're holding something with this hand and you need to open it up, man, that's great. I love this thing. I love this thing. I wish Milwaukee would sponsor me. I'm sure they got better sponsors, but anyhow, I love that. And it's totally legal, so it's not like a switchblade, motion activated. Okay, So this is all the goodies with the heater that it comes with. So little baffle on the one side probably goes right there, I'm assuming, you know, and that's going to be your exhaust, I guess, or fresh air intake, I don't know. This might be the exhaust because it's hot. So this is probably the fresh air intake. This is probably the exhaust, I'm guessing. This is going to be the line for the, you know, the diesel. So like, again, if I were to use this sucker, you know, I would attach that line, you know, right in there, kind of like zip tie it. It's a low pressure, so it just kind of holds on there by gravity and maybe a zip tie or something. So it does run off of like 12 volt, so you could do a 12 volt, 15 amp. That's the supply voltage. And there's a little wiring harness that it comes with. And this is basically just all plug and play except for these two. This right here, you got to plug into a power source somewhere, I'm sure. So, got a bunch of little bolts and comes with some zip ties, which is already nice. I'm guessing this is a muffler of some type or whatever. But it's got all your mounting hardware, and then it's got like the fuel filter, inline fuel filter. You can get those at any hardware store, what have you. So that's nice that it comes with this. This is the muffler. Look at that muffler. It's kind of small, but that's all you need, you know? So it comes with all the goodies that you need. All right, so here's the bad boy, right? This is it right here. Now I paid a little bit more for this one because it does have a little bit better of a display. That's probably protective coating right there, so it's not gonna, this will look nicer. But this display is a little bit nicer, shows a little bit more information on here. Not a ton, but a little bit more. And it also has a remote, so I guess if you wanted to, you know, start this thing from 100 feet away, you just could not wait, or you're outside, you wanted to get your camper warm, you could remote it and start it, do it that way. This also has like Bluetooth and like cell phone connectivity to it, so you can download an app and do it that way as well. I'm just gonna put that in there. This is the little electric pump, pretty small, so the line would go on this side, and then obviously on that side as well, probably hold it with a couple zip ties. But this is just a typical little electric pump, and it goes brrr, and shoots the, pressurizes the diesel fuel, not gasoline, diesel, to where it needs to go. And I'm guessing that that connection right there is probably this connection? Yep, see it, see it? So it goes right in. So it's all made to go together. And you know, if you needed to, you could replace this with, these are probably relatively standard for almost nothing, 10, 15, 20 bucks. So, all right, so this is the diesel heater itself. And you know, again, this one, this Vivor, got pretty good reviews, and I thought it's pretty solid. And I went with the 2000 BTU unit because my trailer is relatively small, my camper, and because I plan on insulating it pretty well, and because I'm not really a freeze baby, so I don't need it to be like 1,000,000 degrees. So if you want to go to the 5000 BTU one or whatever, you can do that. I got the 2000 BTU. I'm hoping that this would be fine. I believe this also does like Bluetooth as well, so you get like a little app on there. But basically, it just runs on diesel fuel. And is that the connection there? There's the connection probably for the diesel right there. So I'm guessing. I'll read the instructions. But yeah, so I'll put this in a good place to make sure it runs really well. And that's basically it for all of the unboxing for all of this stuff. That seems to be made pretty nicely. It's nice and heavy. Comes with a instruction manual, and I'm guessing this is some kind of like fire bracket because those other things probably get hot. So you got to cut a hole and then run the, you know, exhaust, the metal part of the exhaust through here. I'm guessing that's what that is. So that's some kind of mounting plate for that. So Well, that's not bad. I've seen worse instructions, haven't you guys, from China? Wow, it's color. That's not bad. Probably some broken English in there, but anyway, they probably speak way better English than I speak Chinese, so I'm not trying to knock them at all. But anyway, we've all seen that with the instructions from China type of stuff. So I don't know if I'm going to go with this yet and keep this, or if I'm going to go with this stainless steel one. I did pay like $15 extra. This was on sale. They're typically like around 30 for this one. I don't know why. It does have a little bit of a dent right there. Maybe that has something to do with it. I'll take a look at it. But I kind of like the metal one better than the plastic one. And I like this little design here on the side as well, whereas this plastic one doesn't have that. So you'd have to, put a line down. You'd have to put a line down through this little hole here maybe and have it go down in the bottom. But I don't like that sometimes when you do that, because you can't control where the hose is on the bottom. And it could like curl around and flop around and stuff, and then you're using like this much instead of this much because the hose curls around or something, I guess. I don't know. And when you're driving down the road, maybe that could move around and stuff. I just don't know. So maybe I'll use this one for most of the use, and that should suffice for several days, because the 2000 BTU diesel heater says that I can get through 24 hours on 1 liter. Okay, so that's why I purchased that other one, this stainless steel unit. That's why I purchased this one, because it said it was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 liters, and that should last 6 to 8 days. If that's not good. It's a car going down the road dragging the muffler. Should last 6 to 8 days if the 2000 watt diesel heater is good to its claims. It probably won't be. It'll probably consume a little bit more. Okay, I'm just guessing, depending on how cold it is and how warm you like it. But maybe I'll just keep this as an extra, just in case I go out and I'm planning on staying out a little bit longer, or maybe it's going to be colder out. So maybe I'll just keep this as an extra and really not use it until I have to, or I would plan on using it in all likelihood, and I could just have this as like a spare. So maybe I'll do that. But okay, so the reason I got all this stuff ahead of time is that I don't have plans, from somebody else who's made this thing. I'm making this trailer, this camper, completely by scratch, just all up in my crazy mind. And I did do some sketches. I showed those to you. But I'm just doing this all on my own, and basically all just in my head. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. So I always like to get, when I do stuff like that, and that's how I operate usually, I always like to get this stuff ahead of time. Because it's a lot easier buying this stuff ahead of time, knowing how long the cords are and how far away things are and all the dimensions ahead of time. And then I can just build all the other walls and cavities and compartments and nooks and cavities and stuff like that in place around this stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope it does. So it's a lot easier to have all this stuff ahead of time and build the trailer around it rather than vice versa. Okay, so then I'd be stuck trying to find a special part, and maybe I'd have to pay through the nose and to get one that was like an inch smaller in one dimension. That just makes no sense to me why people do that. So I like to get as much of my stuff ahead of time for that purpose, and then I can kind of visualize it in my mind's eye. I can visualize it, how everything is connected, and every square inch of this camper is valuable. So I want to make sure that every last square inch is maximized. So that's why I'm doing it. So okay, long video for an unboxing, but there's a lot of unboxing that happened. So we'll catch you guys later. I hope you're enjoying the show. Okay, so we got a little bit extra on the unboxing. The batteries came in. I decided to go with two 100 amp hour batteries, and Guess this is made by Java Energy. These were on sale. So 12.8 volt, 100 amp hour, deep cycle. And this is a LifePo 4, which is good. I like that. And it says for RV camping, things of that nature. So it kind of goes over some of the product information. And I went with 2 100 amp hour batteries because I am going to be running an AC off of this in some form or fashion. So this is back kind of nice. Let's see here. This little form fit. Yeah, let me get this out. Okay, so it's out of the box. Comes with this little strap here, which is kind of nice. I like that. And maybe I can use that to kind of like hold it down too when it's in the rig. And pretty simple. Java Energy, 12.8 volts, 100 amps, and almost 13 watt hours. So that's pretty good. I like that. And I like the size of this, which is good. And doesn't really come with anything else. So it doesn't come with any kind of connectors or wires or whatever, which really isn't that big of a deal for me because I can make all that stuff myself. But I don't know if other batteries come with that stuff or not. The charge controller did come with some pretty nice wires in there, like 6 or 4 gauge wires, connectors. So I was thinking that maybe the batteries would come with that, but they haven't. So I got 2 of them. One's there and one's in here. And you know, just like the previous videos I did, I like to get this stuff ahead of time before I do like the final fitting for the inside. It's just a lot easier to place these things in place so they fit. You can get to them, you know, manage them, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And rather than trying to make them retrofit the opposite way, you build your walls and stuff and then buy your pieces parts. That makes no sense to me. I understand why people do it, but I don't do it that way. So there we go.